Oh, hey everybody. That one was little brutal. Not gonna lie, that one sucked. No sugarcoating it. Yeah, didn't want to have to do an Emerald City therapy session tonight, but here we are. Um, I guess that's just what happens when you run into a goalie with the Madagascar Penguins on his helmet. You just can't beat that, right? Um, oh, just just brutal, brutal, brutal. Especially because, like, what, four of the six Penguins goals go off of Kraken players. Like, it's not even like, they just straight up, you know beat us out on a lot of those. A lot of them were just bad fluky bounces that went against us, and it just sucks. Like, there's just no way around that. When you run into games like this, that stuff like that happens, where, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The Kraken didn't exactly play their best game. I think we all can admit that. Um, but certainly when, in the first 5 minutes, you've got three essentially bad bounce goals going against you, that's a rough, rough way to start the game. I will give them credit. They stayed in it until kind of the third period. Crowd stayed in it until a little ways into the third period, too. Another big props to Climate Pledge Arena for that. A lot of buildings wouldn't have necessarily done that, so definitely want to give that one a little bit of a shout out. But I guess in that sense we could say it wasn't necessarily because the Kraken were totally outplayed tonight, because you have that really rough, brutal start with just terrible, unlucky bounces for the most part, and then you move on, and it's hard to get going and stay going and all of that stuff after that. So I don't know. I'm willing to give it maybe a pass for tonight. Just one of these unfortunate, rough games, and we can move forward from this, and hopefully rebound on Thursday. But let me come over here into chat and see what everybody else is saying. Sergeant Pickles with the Emerald City therapy is a go. Unfortunately, it is. Hunter, I never want to see Lauzon on the ice again. Yes, another Lauzon game. It wasn't too bad tonight, though. This is one of those, it's it's hard to peg what happened tonight really on any one person. Um, not sure, not sure, who I would really put it on, if I had to. Uh, this is from Ty. Feels like we haven't had one of these in a while, which is good. But yeah, did Seattle read the scouting report on the Penguins? Let them do all of their strengths tonight. Yikes. Yes, I mean this was a game the Penguins wanted to play, right? They like to play kind of fast, almost a little loose as far as their system, drive the net if you can, let their scorers do their thing, right? Gensel, dude's on fire right now. Looks like he can do whatever he wants. Jeff Carter, having his late, career resurgence there, for however long that's going to last, but he's been playing really well. Sid obviously is Sid. But yes, and in a lot of ways they were able to shelter Casey DeSmith, and really until the third period, I didn't think DeSmith looked that great. He didn't exactly scream like he was a confident goalie to me. I thought he looked a little shaky. He was a little off on maybe some of his angles. It was just the Kraken were never really able to, sustain any sort of real pressure in the Penguin zone that could really exploit that, getting him moving around a little bit more in his crease and all of that stuff. But as the game went on, you could see he got confident. He was, obviously he was being padded with a really big lead, so it's easy to be a little confident as a goalie in that situation. And goalie going for their first win of the season, obviously I think, he smelled blood in the water, and he was able to step up his game as the game went on. But yes, yes, Ty. I mean, the Penguins getting those bounces early, it played right into their hands, and the Kraken didn't exactly try to do anything to change things up after that. Eric, can we trade Lauzon yet? I don't know. It would be nice to have, hopefully Giordano could get healthy soon, get out of the COVID protocol. Hopefully he's doing all right. From what we hear, he's doing all right, still in Florida. But yes, I feel yeah. It's certainly one of those. Even on a night where Lauzon didn't necessarily play his worst game, or didn't even really play that all that bad, it's just he just seems to be out there when bad stuff happens. Ty, pretty quiet. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all a little, you know, thought we escaped this, Um, let's see, Cameron Grubauer defense was in shambles tonight. Yes, they weren't back to the slow start, and then obviously just kind of their, I don't know, panic or maybe trying to do too much, or I don't know what was going on that led to what happened there. But again, three horrible bounces, three horrible, just nothing really Grubauer could do on any of them, except for the first one where it's don't try to play it, don't try to intercept that pass yourself. I don't really know why he was doing that. Typically, I don't think you would see a goalie do that. I know that there was, I'm trying to remember who it was for the Penguins. Was it Zucker? Someone was over there, so if that pass got through, it was going to be hard for him to stop it. So I do understand him wanting to try to, keep that pass from going across, but then you better be darn sure that you've got your stick square to the ice so that you're going to stop it and it is going to stay there right in front of you. Instead of being angled like that so that the puck can just use your stick as a ramp and go right up over your shoulder. Again, heat of the moment, that all happens like, that fast. So I'll cut him some slack there, but it was just a rough night, a lot of rough bounces, and then the Kraken were just, 5 minutes in, you're down by 3, and you haven't essentially really done anything too wrong. I think that just got into their heads. But they played solid towards the end of the first period to finish out that period. Played pretty decent until the end of the second period too. So got to give the team credit for that. Cody with just the oof. I feel that, Cody. Joey, get dominated at home again, 3-0 before 5 minutes in the first period. The game was over at 3-0. It did feel that way, Joey. Again, even when the Kraken were playing well, they weren't able to establish anything in the Penguins zone, really. Penguins are a fast team, so you're not able to necessarily beat them in the transition game the way the Kraken want to traditionally beat teams. So yes, it did have that kind of feel of like, all right, this game is kind of over, which is crazy considering there was 55 minutes left. And, we just saw 3 goals scored in 5 minutes. Why wouldn't you think that you could get 3 goals in 55 minutes? But it is one of those things where you just kind of feel the momentum, and it's rough. Hunter, humbly brought back down to earth after this game. Colorado game 2.0. I think this was still better than the Colorado game just because we can point to all those bad bounces. At least that's what I'm going to hang my hat on from this one. The Colorado game was true just breakdown after breakdown after breakdown, lack of effort, all of that stuff. Like I said, the Kraken tried, right? Like they clawed back, certainly from like a shots on goal perspective after that first 5 minutes. We didn't really see that in that Colorado game, so I'm not willing to say, hit the big red panic button quite yet after this one, but certainly you don't want to see this happen again. Even a loss in your next game is fine as long as it's not, by this large of a goal differential. Sergeant Pickles, Lauzon won't solve all the issues, but he stands out so much. It's true. And then also from Sergeant Pickles, on the positive side, this result feels completely different depending on how Thursday goes. I agree with that. Again, this could just be a blip. You got some weird bad bounces. They happen. You just suck it up and you move on. If on Thursday, again, it's another kind of, maybe it looks like a beatdown, then it's time to start, looking at things a little more closely. Um, Hunter, back to old habits tonight from Guru de Lauzon. Kind of, kind of. Again, it's one of those. I'm not willing to say it yet, but I could certainly see you guys saying it. I think there is. It's right on that edge. Right on that edge for me. Missing Seattle defense. If found, please contact Philip or Joey. It's from Ty. Like that one. Yeah, they were not ready for the speed of the Penguins tonight, or the net front drive that the Penguins have as a team. They weren't really ready for that one, and that's maybe why you saw them at times look a little uncomfortable, a little panicky, and then certainly why maybe they were in positions where those bad bounces happen off of them. Right, they're maybe not in their normal lane, that kind of thing. But yes, Sergeant Pickles, Decord I think has played well, but is put into tough situations. Yeah, obviously tough situation you're put into tonight. Tough situation way back in that like Edmonton game and stuff, right? But yes, every time we see Joey Decord, he's phenomenal. I think the Kraken really have somebody there that they can rely on when things are like this. When one of your goalies is on IR, when you need someone to come in. And I think he's done really well coming into situations like this. I mean, that's a brutal situation to come into as a goalie. You're down 3-0, 5 minutes into a game. And it's just like, all right, you can't make a mistake because we really can't afford it now. You know what I mean? I thought he played really, really well tonight. Gregory, I was at the game with a friend who is a Pens fan, surrounded by other Pens fans. Definitely need a drink. I am so sorry for that, Gregory. I would say I hope you enjoyed yourself still. You could find some light levity in that. But yes, I mean I think all of us can relate to going to a game either in maybe another team's building or with friends in a group rooting for the other team, and then your team just gets smoked, and it's rough. It's rough. So I feel your pain, Gregory. Hope it wasn't too bad. Hope they weren't too bad for you. Alex, just in pain. Yes, this was definitely very emotionally painful. Sergeant Pickles, disclaimer, at 5-1, I drained my beer and decided mental health is important. Mental health is always important, Sergeant Pickles. And I understand. we'll just stick with that. Hunter, Decord has unfortunately been thrown into the deep end too often. Yeah, I mean, but that's also just the role of, in some ways, the third string goalie, the emergency goalie, the young guy that's only here because other guys are hurt. It's in some ways that's just the spot that a traditional backup goalie would be in. Obviously, we thought with Grubauer and Drieger, want to split starts a little bit between them. But traditional backups, right? Yeah, you're starting all the back-to-back night games. You're starting one of those, whatever. But really, you're there to, okay, things are back, things are bad. Come in and maybe stop the bleeding a little bit. We're doing this to try to wake up the rest of the team and everything. It's a rough situation to be in, but that is life as you work to become an NHL starter as a goalie. So thankfully, it does seem like Decord has been up to every challenge that they've put him in. So we can all be thankful for that and good on him. Alex, I don't know, just wasn't our night. Agreed. I mean, just a lot of bad bounces. Again, 4 of those 6 goals go off our own guys. You can't really do anything about that at some point. You know what I mean? What do you want them to do? Not be anywhere near the net, including the goalie? Like, we can't do that, so it's just unfortunate. Joey, why do we get routed so often? First Colorado, now Pittsburgh, and it happened at home. Yeah, I'm going to say I think it's coincidental. I don't think this game looked the same as the Colorado game. But again, I don't want to see it become a pattern. But, they responded really well to that Colorado game. They treated that very seriously, the team. And, we all know what happened after that. Just as good a chance as they'll do that with this one. Rexology, is there something to the bad plus minus for Schwartz and Eberle? Part of it is that they were not in on the games where the Kraken were playing well, but maybe a casual link. We talked about this back when we did, what was it, the kind of roster breakdown review thing, I think 2 podcasts ago now. That's right, the latest podcast came out today, everybody. If you haven't listened to it, go give it a listen after this or tomorrow. I think for the most part it's a casual link. Yes, there's always going to be something to that, but again, a lot of that was decided during their losing streak where bad things were happening. And plus minus is just kind of wonky and arbitrary. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily the best reflection on people's two-way ability and stuff like that. So I'm not willing to put too much into it. I think the fact that they're both up towards the top of the Kraken goal and point scorers and everything, I think shows that they're still they're doing what they need to be doing. And it was nice to have them back tonight, and Eberle gets that goal. That was good to see. Autumn, good to be back live. It's good to have you back, Autumn. Missed you. Hunter, Alexiak scoring 2 goals on the wrong net. Nice. Yeah, it happens. Not a night he's gonna want to remember, that's for sure. Not great for a revenge game for especially for him, but really for any of them tonight, huh? Let's see, Alex, I think referencing the what was it, the Rexology comments. They got the toughest competition and high ice time. That's certainly a contributing factor. Autumn, Alexiak, Grubauer, and Lausanne are my 3 duds. I would agree with you there, and it's certainly unfortunately a night where more duds maybe than stars. That's for sure. Certainly easier to come up with the duds than maybe the stars. Sergeant Pickles, call me crazy, but adding Schwartz and Eberle felt like it broke up all the good line chemistry that was built. I don't know. I thought their line actually played okay tonight, all things considered. Again, you get that goal. I still think the lineup is better when they are in. And they haven't been out too long anyway, so I don't know that it really mucked up things too much. Autumn, Dylan, you can go back to watching the Root broadcast now. Yes, I was already thinking that. I'm going to definitely try to switch and see if that fixes things. It was a good run while it lasted. We got a lot of points, but yes, I will be going back to the Root broadcast, and hopefully that'll change things for Thursday. Nathan, sad game, but I'll still give a like to the stream. Thank you so much, Nathan. Yes, everybody, if you could like the stream, that is super helpful to us. It helps out the channel a lot. Let's see. Nathan, do you agree with pulling Grubauer so soon? Yes, I 100% do. You need to, in a situation like that, wake up the team. It's not so much about like punishing the goalie usually as it is about just giving everybody on the team kind of like a hard reset and just saying like, okay, look, you've maybe it's you've let the goalie down, so you guys all better step it up because this your teammate is now out of this game because you guys all let him down. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes like this, it was just literally wake up. Like you guys are not quite in this game. Yes, they were bad bounces and stuff, but still like we need just something to stop the bleeding, change momentum, get it going our way. So yes, I 100% agree with pulling Grubauer when Hackstall did. I would have done the same thing. I was thinking it before we saw it. I was like, you got to do this now, just to send that message to the team. It's unfortunate for Grubauer, who save percentage, he'd been really trying to get it back up to 900. Tonight is definitely not going to help in those efforts. It's again unfortunate considering so many, they were all bad bounces essentially for him, but it did need to be done for the team as a whole. Greg, not our night. Maybe the worst defense has looked. Pitt is uber aggressive, so I hope that's not scouting for other teams onto the Jets. Will be fine. I think, they've played other aggressive teams, right? Florida is an aggressive team. We managed to handle them. Detroit, to some extent, an aggressive team. Certainly for some of their lines, a lot of those young players are very aggressive for Detroit. And, yes, they did give the Kraken a little bit of trouble there. So maybe that is something to look out for. But I agree with you. I think this is one of those you just chalk it up to some bad luck to keep everybody kind of in it and their heads in the right spot, and you move on to Winnipeg, or move on to Winnipeg coming in to Climate Pledge. That is. Chris, bad defense seems to add up to bad result with the Kraken. Yeah, I mean that's basically the case for any team ever, right? It's just it's hard to win if you're gonna have rough defense and any of that stuff. RJ is actually ready to join already, so I'm going to go grab him real quick. Good to have him so quick. That means media stuff went pretty quick here. So just 1 second, everybody.
This person, you're not this person. Like, do you like hockey?
Hey,
You do?
hey, RJ.
Hey Dylan,
How's
good to
it
be on
going?
stream here. I'm good, and I'm joined by Scott Brendan of Cheap Seat Sports.
Hey,
They
Scott.
finally gave him the press. They finally gave him the press pass, so he's been doing that.
Awesome.
Everybody, I gotta get home, record the R&R, but yeah, tough game, so
Yeah,
we'll
Yep.
get him next time.
yeah, definitely.
Dylan's not too happy about his old team, but
Yeah, they've been giving you crap about that.
No, it's not too
we'll
bad.
beat the Sharks to get rid of his old team when that happens.
Yeah, for
All right.
sure.
See you guys.
Yep. See you, Scott.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, a nice little guest appearance there.
Yeah. Overall thoughts real quick before I get back to comments.
I mean, it just fell apart from the start and didn't get a whole lot better. They put on a good push, couldn't get one, and I mean Haxtell didn't hold anything back. He just said that effort's unacceptable from us over the course of a hockey game, and Everly talked about hanging the goalie out to dry and all that stuff. It's just some rough bounces at the start. Like it wasn't all just on these breakdowns. It's tough with these deflections, but it just fell apart really quickly. Not a whole lot of good to say about that game.
Yeah, and lots to talk about the defense, obviously, so far in chat. Rough night for them. Just kind of, just an unfortunate night. Again, 4 out of those 6 goals. Just, it's hard.
Yeah, and I want to add that those the late goals also, a lot of those resulted in some bad pinches where the defense was pinching up. But at that point, those are risks that you just have to take given the score. And it's tough, right? So I don't exactly pin those on the defense, but early on, they certainly could play a lot better defensively.
For sure. So I'm actually to your first thing here in chat right now from Eberle, being very honest about the team's play. Says you can't spot a team 3 goals like that and then be as sloppy as they were. Hung our goalie out to dry. I think that's pretty spot on from him. Good to have him back though, and kind of staying hot
for sure, and scoring again.
Exactly.
Yep.
I thought Susie had a pretty bad game tonight. That's from Cameron. A lot of people had bad games tonight.
Yeah, and Haxtell even said I don't want to pin this on one individual performance because it's just not that. I mean, it was everyone. It wasn't. The only one he added about something good was Decord, where he said, I thought he did well coming in that circumstance.
Agreed. Sergeant Pickles, y'all know the meme. The ratio of Lauzon starts to Kraken losses is too damn high.
Although I will add, this one was not on Lauzon. It was everyone.
Yeah, and it was. He actually didn't play too bad considering. He felt on par with everybody else.
Yeah,
Cameron,
no, I mean he did.
yeah, Cameron though, Lazon single-handedly trying to get us a lottery pick. Chris, need
Yep.
to win face-offs, no sloppy passes. Uh, yeah, I mean it's been a little bit of a theme. I at least know through the first period and a half or so, it wasn't too bad face-off wise for the Kraken tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know
Although I
what happened.
noticed Sidney Crosby still doing his thing where he like leans way back and does the,
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
you still let him do it.
yep. Well, you're in the media now, RJ. Make that your big issue.
There, yeah, that's the hill I want to die on.
Yeah, exactly. Um, let's see, Autumn. A lost 5 minutes into this, same in the standings as a lost 55 minutes in. On to the Atlanta Thrashers.
Yep, the team formerly known as the
Love that
Atlanta
one.
Thrashers.
That was just an overall bad performance against a team that will punish you for that. Gotta hope the team's up for Thursday because Winnipeg can run up the score as well. That is true. But I think I'm at least, I'm willing to hang my hat on this just being a bad luck effort kind of night. And
Agreed, and it just had that feel from the beginning, right? If it was one of those where they were just, it was close for a while and then they just played thoroughly bad, then it's a different story. But I mean, it just they just got blindsided by that early 3-0 deficit.
yeah, Hunter Lazon turning into the most hated player on the Kraken game by game. I think he's probably had that for a little while now. Based
Yeah,
on
no, I
based
think
on
it's
how
been
these have
that
been
way.
going.
Yep.
Autumn, the defenseman's shots from the blue line were asked today. We need Fleury and Geo in there to get some better action net front. Yeah, I mean, Larson had a couple good ones, and he had another one again where he just was like, it looked like he was just going to kind of single-handedly step in, go
I'm just gonna
around
do
some
this
guys.
myself. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, Dunn was tough. He had a few blocks where I think he was just trying to do a little too much.
mhm,
Um, but that's kind of what you want him to do. You want him to try things, but it just didn't work out for him tonight.
exactly. Sean, 6-1 gut punch tonight. Tough one for Alexiak with the 2 own goals. Penguins looking good. Kudos to Jeff Carter for his excellent comeback season. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. I don't know what's in the water in Pittsburgh, but it agrees with Jeff Carter.
Hey, he's finally on a contender again.
Yeah, it awoken the beast. Um,
Yep, for sure.
I always forget how big he is, too. And then you see him.
I know he is
He's,
huge.
he's
He is
huge.
huge. Yep.
Uh, this is from Wendy. Knew we weren't going to win every game. We were due a loss. On to winning again. On to the Jets. I think that is definitely the attitude we need to keep.
Yep.
Alex, at least we aren't Philly fans. Give up 2 games in a row under 2 different coaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, brutal time for the Flyers right
Yeah. No,
now.
the Flyers have it pretty tough, and I mean, with Vigneault getting fired today, yeah, it's just a rough season for them.
Not that I'm shedding too many tears for him.
Fully embraced the Penguins tonight, eh, Dylan?
No, no, no. But I think that part of me is okay to keep around, even on tonight's like
Fair
tonight.
enough. The anti-Flyers part, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. This is from the Sandpipes. I'm a hockey noob, so I'm not sure if I'm reading the game tonight. But the Kraken couldn't adjust their offense. Yeah, I mean they struggled tonight establishing in the Penguins zone. We didn't see their normal kind of cycle in the corner or even the cycle up front. Like it felt like back to kind of when they were struggling, where things go bad and then things break down.
Yeah. I mean, did you talk about the Penguins' pressure on the puck yet? Because I mean, that was the thing that struck me the most was just how much they were pressuring and harassing the puck carrier at all times, and the Kraken players just didn't have as much time with the puck as they were used to, and I think they kind of struggled to deal with that. They kind of threw it away or into a bad spot or just turned it over, and yeah, it's just something they're going to need to learn how to adjust to.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly showed up a lot in their transition play. Like they were
Mm-hmm.
not able to do what they wanted to do transition, and that kind of set them up for some less than
Yeah.
optimal zone time.
Hey, yeah, thank you. Sorry, a couple ECH fans back there recognize me.
Oh, cool. Sergeant
Yeah.
Pickle, was Grew always this streaky in Washington and Colorado? I don't think so, but again, he was, up until last year in Colorado, he wasn't ever the main guy. So,
No, he wasn't. And I've heard, many times he had kind of a slow start in Colorado, also when he first got there, just adjusting to the new team and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Back to the Sandpipes. The Kraken are built on forechecking, but Pittsburgh moved the puck out so fast the Kraken never caught up to them. Yeah, that is definitely part of it. Penguins are a fast team. They kind of play to the Kraken's weaknesses, both offensively and defensively, in that way. I think you're getting a really good read on that one, Sandpipes. Autumn, Pittsburgh 2.86 expected goals to Seattle's 2 expected goals. See, again, it's one of those just rough, bad luck kind of nights. Because again, that's probably also skewed Pittsburgh's way based on stuff after the game was decided.
Yeah, no, definitely. I checked after the first and second period, and it was pretty heavily skewed toward the Penguins.
Yeah. Superfly still got to remember that this is an expansion team and games like this just happen, though it still sucks. I definitely agree with that. We've seen this one before. That's from Autumn. Yeah, to some extent. Again, I think it was like excessively bad bounces tonight, especially in the first 5 minutes. Like, it's rough. Michael, usually there's someone to blame. Tonight it's the whole team. Outmatched by Penguins' speed, passing was awful, and zero push offensively. This loss is on the whole team. 1,000% agree. Just,
Yep.
It's one of those team effort kind of nights. Let's see. Autumn, Schwartz is the Jamal Adams, highly paid, talented, has not performed yet. Or maybe Grubauer, lol.
I think Schwartz at least puts up some of the numbers. I don't know. He doesn't like pop off the ice, that you see. But like when we looked at the numbers doing our review, he was up there in scoring. So he does some of the quiet things. And certainly, I don't know. Jamal Adams is just a liability at this point. So that's not Jaden Schwartz.
True. So maybe onto something with the Grubauer comment. But yeah, I mean, I've still been waiting to see Jaden Schwartz kind of click with the system. You'd think he'd be more built for it, especially when they started working in the corners more. You think of him more as a power forward kind of guy, and we just haven't seen that aspect of his game yet. Ty, sometimes as attendee, the puck sticks to you. Other times it wiggles its way through no matter what. Pulling Grew was an attempt to fire up the lines. Attendees get a pass from me tonight. I agree with that one.
Yep, agreed. And I think it was just more of a wake-up call to everyone else than anything else.
Ty, referencing the Jamal Adams thing, saying more like Wenberg. I think you might be onto something there. That being said, made a good pass to Eberle tonight. So,
yep,
in tight, could have taken a shot, but good result. So I'll take it.
Yep.
The Sandpipes, that Penn's aggression while the Kraken defense had the puck upset a lot of what the Kraken wanted to do. 1,000% agree. Especially after the start to the night, the Kraken just, like I said, they get in a kind of a panicky mode, and then it's hard to do anything.
They just felt that pressure all over him. Even when they did have time, they were acting as if they didn't, because most of the time they would have someone on them.
Exactly. Sean, Decord handles the puck well. Tough situation for him tonight, but he definitely looks legit. Yeah, we talked about him earlier. Again, kind of always gets thrown into the fire, but God, I just love everything we see from him.
I do too, and so many high danger chances against him, like while it was still within reach, and he stopped them all and gave them a chance.
Agree. Autumn, if all the bad bounces go against you, are you just bad? I mean, maybe. I mean, we've seen weird stuff, you and I. We've watched
over a large sample size, yes, but I mean, this in just one game, like in the course of a few minutes,
right? That being said, I was just gonna say, you and I have also seen weird, like season-long, just guys in weird funks. You know what I mean? Like
that's true. That is true.
For people. Again, generally, you're not going to see that from a whole team, but
yeah.
But yes,
I mean, you look at even Donskoy now, like he's playing well. It's just as far as goals, like he's just not getting the bounces. I mean, there was one play like on a 2-on-1 where if Susi hits him on the pass like a second earlier, it springs him in for a breakaway, and I bet he's got his first goal, but just didn't work out that way.
Exactly. And then also from Autumn, I like how aggressive Decord is with leaving the net.
There were a couple where he had to stop a shot on the way back to the net.
Yeah,
that was entertaining.
Yeah. Let's see. From Brian, when Fleury is scratched for Lauzon, can you tell me what matchup issue this is addressing? You literally give up a better skater, mover of the puck, and shooter for odd man rushes on the reg.
I mean, I guess the only thing you get, in compensation for that, I guess, is more physicality.
Mm-hmm.
And Lausanne certainly delivered that tonight. He had a couple big hits,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's kind of the trade-off. And I guess against the Penguins, you want more
Well,
physicality. I don't know.
that's what I was just thinking. Is like you don't really want that against this team. Like
No, I wouldn't think that's what you'd want to go with. But
you want someone who
I don't
can
know.
play a little quicker. That being said, I will just say, better skater. I don't know.
Probably Lausanne, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yes, I'll give
How about
Lauzon
that?
that one.
How about that diving play to break up that breakaway? I mean, like again, he was out of position to cause the
Yes.
breakaway, but like what an effort play there.
Yeah. Again, he's he hasn't played too bad the last couple games.
Yeah.
There's 60-minute efforts from him. Cody, the fact that this isn't a regular occurrence is a silver lining. Last time this happened, they got better and learned from their mistakes. This will hurt for a couple days, but only one way to go. I agree with that, Cody. Yeah, lots of references to the Colorado game in this one. I think it's a little bit of a different story, just because of the bounces and everything. But yeah, I mean, I was saying that earlier. Last time, it really galvanized them.
Yeah, and I don't know. After this one, it certainly feels more optimistic about their chances of turning it around quickly than after the Colorado game, where it felt like, where do we go from here?
Exactly. Sergeant Pickles, right from the jump, all of that crisp passing and good positioning for center passes was gone. Does Hacksaw need to make the lines closer to how they were the past few games? I don't know. I think part of that is just, again, it's that, oh no, we're like down and we've got to try to claw our way back in, forgetting that there's 55 minutes left.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen that kind of early deficit just mess with them for a whole game. Just don't go down multiple goals in the first 5 minutes. That's really just the primary answer.
Yeah. Now, Autumn brings up something interesting here with these two comments. Hextall says, we gave up 3 goals on the first 4 shots. That's indicative of the start of our team. The start of a game is on the coach 100%. Do you agree with that, RJ?
I wouldn't say 100%. Obviously, the coach has got to, set the tone and get everyone ready to going from the start. But, there are certain circumstances where, like the bounces tonight, this would be a good example where I think it's not entirely on him. I mean, the Kraken didn't start all that well, but it didn't seem as though they came out completely not ready to play and just fell completely flat. It was just these tough bounces that, happened to end up in the back of their net. For some efforts, I would agree with that. Most games where you give up 3 goals in the first 4 shots, that's the case. But I'd say it wasn't tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. There is some, obviously a large part of coaching is motivation and getting, guys ready for things, making sure they're prepared, all of that stuff. But just like during the losing streak, I'm going to say that, that's also on the players too. Right? You've got a lot of people in there with letters on their sweaters, and if they're not getting the rest of the team going, and if they're not going themselves, at some point it is on the players to just, start a game. Like you can't always.
And I want to add that, And I want to add that, like, the kind of person I usually am quick to blame the coach on something like that. I do tend to think the coach is number one, his job as far as motivation, but just tonight wasn't the case. So it's not that in general I'll even defend the coach there. I just think tonight was an exception.
Agreed. Reading ID, Lauzon seems to lay some hard hits and sticks up for his teammates. Shrug.
How about that when he tried to go start a fight with I think it was Aston Reese, and Aston Reese just wanted none of it. He's like, dude, I didn't do anything.
Yeah. A for effort, I guess.
Yep. Oh man, he was trying to start that fight.
Yeah. Hunter, players have to execute. Yeah, they do. Sergeant Pickles, side note, the bonus Patreon pod was great. Well worth the subscription. Much more of an NHL roundup than Kraken specific. Well, thank you for those kind words, Sergeant Pickles. For everybody, if you're interested in that, the link to the Patreon is in the description of this. You can go give that a listen. Sign up. Let's see. We're certainly going to have a lot of fun stuff to talk about all the recent firings and goings on for the next one.
For
That's for sure.
sure, for sure. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
Yes.
Vancouver cleaning house, Vigneault gone. Yep.
Yep. Valentina, I thought Decord looked really poised and ready to step in. Not sure what to yell when he makes great saves, though. That is a problem. We got to figure out something
I
there.
know there were a little tiny scattered like Rue on the first few, and then they're like, oh wait, no, this is because they changed them up pretty quick too. I mean, it was a case of yeah.
Yeah. Autumn, of course, but when your team has consistently bad starts, it's on you as a coach to get your players to execute. Again, as we saw during kind of the losing streak, I do think that there is an issue on this, team as far as, getting people going. I don't know how much communication there really is in the locker room
Yeah, fair point.
when it comes to that stuff.
Also, your captain's stuck in Florida.
Yeah, that doesn't help things, that's for sure. Let's see. More kind words about the Patreon podcast from Autumn. Thank you for that. From Sean.
Thank you, Autumn.
Yes, Lausanne and Borgen pairing on D makes no sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me either, Sean. They kind of, in some ways, are the same thing. You have neither one of them is exceptionally good at moving the puck.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. You can make a case given the last two games for sometimes, I guess, putting Lausanne in the lineup, but on that pair with Borgen, it just makes no sense. If Borgen's going to be in the lineup, you better pair him with Hayden Fleury.
Exactly. Especially because Lausanne, we've talked about his defensive lapses, numerous times throughout all of these post games. Borgen, his aggressive approach, certainly to shot blocking and stuff, can also draw him out of position too. So you don't necessarily want two guys with, at times, questionable positioning together. It was one thing when Lausanne was with Larson, and Larson could try to cover for some of it. Hunter, they've been having good starts lately, especially on that run besides Tampa. Yeah, but you know what? Again, kind of Tampa. Well, I guess I defended them against aggressive teams a little bit earlier, noting the Florida game. But again, Tampa, tough team in transition, right? They are aggressive with you. Their D is aggressive with you, kind of similar to the Penguins tonight. So that does seem to be something that, the Kraken need to work on.
Yep.
Let's see. Alex, Donskoy line was invisible tonight. 0.06 expected goals in 12 minutes of ice time or so. That is rough.
No, that's not good.
No. And you know what? Outside of the first period, I don't remember really seeing them.
No. I mean, it's tough because that's the new fourth line.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's Donskoy, Donato, and
Shahan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, upsetting because they played really well the last couple of games.
Yeah, no, they did.
Sergeant Pickles says a lot about the ECH community, that 30-plus brave souls are still here after that shelling. Cheers, everyone.
Yes.
That is right. And, up to 43
Absolutely.
live right now. So,
wow.
Awesome.
All right.
Is it unusual we've had no shutouts yet? Doesn't feel like we've really even come close. That's from Autumn. Again, those are kind of fluky, and I feel like I haven't seen too many around the league this year anyway.
It does feel that way, doesn't it? I mean, aside from what's the team that has like all the shutouts?
I mean, Tampa shut us out.
Yeah. Oh no, it's the Flames. The Flames.
Oh well.
Had like 6 shutouts in their last 8 or whatever, and it's just like, oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. That's more out there.
You don't want that. You don't want Daryl Sutter coaching your team, even if that's the what you get. It's the price you have to pay. It's not worth it.
Exactly. Reading ID. Sergeant Pickles always feel better after the post game. Thanks for that. Reading ID. Let's see. No puck luck for us tonight. Yes, it was really, really brutal. Greg, remember, friends, we are an expansion team. We're going to have fun nights and not so fun nights. We're here for it all. That is for sure. Rexology, 3 stars of the game for us. I would lobby for Decord. Can't put the goals on him with one off Alexiak and Gensel picking a perfect corner, and the other one, which I can't remember. The other one was, again, it was just off a 2-on-1, just rough, situation there. 3 stars for you. I would agree with Decord. Just coming in, staying as poised as he was, kept them in it. While they tried to rally.
Yep, I agree.
Eberle.
Let's see, Eberle. Thought of it at the same time.
And then maybe Wenberg for me.
Yeah, actually, Wenberg was the other one I was thinking of. So
Because I actually thought Wenberg did okay defensively tonight too.
yeah, that's exactly why I was going to say so. Is I thought he did fine defensively and also had a nice pass on that assist for the goal.
Yes. So back to, or we're down to where you joined. So lots of love about for Scott being there. Got to get the mascot on the post game one of these days. We need the mascot to exist first, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. First things first, guys.
Hunter, that Grubauer contract's starting to worry me. I mean, maybe just a little.
Started to worry me the day it was signed.
Yeah.
But
Rexology giving Dylan grief about his old team after that game just seems cruel.
I know we were talking about that where and I don't know if you saw the morning brief, but I put a picture of us there from the 2016 Cup final.
Yes, I did. Got some love on the. I like Sergeant Pickles. I looked 10 years younger.
That was the best comment.
Older. It's true.
That was the best comment. I showed that also to my parents. They got a huge kick out of that. So, like, great comment, Sergeant Pickles.
Yeah, for sure. Sean, RJ, other than the bad game tonight, did you try the spicy chicken sandwich?
I did not. Okay, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time. I was actually kind of showing Scott around a little bit. It was his first game up at the press bridge, so showing him around and everything. Didn't have time to stop at Shaq's Big Chicken, but we'll definitely do that one at some point.
Cool. Rexology faceoffs were 32-24 in Pittsburgh's favor, so obviously as the game went on, they got slanted, but it's hard to read into that given the rest of the game. No matter what, good or bad, the Kraken have roster and cap flexibility to keep the core they want and add where needed. That is 100% true from Sergeant Pickles. Like they can do whatever they want. Whether it's come trade deadline if they feel like they need to, or in the off season.
Yeah, and this is in no way saying anything about this season, but it's going to be a fun off season, coming up. Like whatever happens, I mean, they're just going to have a lot of tools to do things they want to do.
Mm-hmm. Alex, tuning to next matchup, Hoink is suspended for Winnipeg, I believe. That's right, suspended 2 games.
And, yeah, Pionk for the on Neon Sandine.
Yes, and then almost got ended by Jason Spezza. That he did.
Yeah, Spezza's got an in-person hearing for that one, I think.
Again, more stuff for us to talk about on that next Patreon podcast, because boy, do I have thoughts about all of that.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Yes. Hunter, though, Appleton revenge game, and I'm excited for that.
Yes. Oh, that's going to be a good one. Man, if he has a breakout game on that one, it's going to be so fun.
Sergeant Pickles, I've had multiple fans of other teams randomly ask me to make sure the Kraken beat the crap out of the Jets.
That's awesome.
I mean, even before the last couple of days, they seemed like one of those teams that everybody's got an issue with.
Yeah, agreed.
Thanks, dudes, for another great recap. That's from Chris. You are very welcome. Should Decord get the start on Thursday? That's from Cameron.
I don't think he will. I'll start with that, especially because you took Grubauer out early, got him some extra rest. I think that's probably in preparation to start him on Thursday. Mm-hmm. And you'd like to get him a good bounce back game. Given the 2 days off in between games, I actually wouldn't have a problem with starting Decord. You know me, I'm always starting Grubauer.
Mm-hmm.
You know me, I'm always in favor of getting the tandem going, but this one I'd be okay with starting Grubauer.
Yeah, and I think that they will as well, and I probably would too, just because get this bad taste out of his mouth and stuff.
And you'd have to assume that Decord gets a start during the back-to-backs against San Jose and Anaheim next week.
Yes. Jason was at the game tonight. Sorry, Jason. They just seem slow and sluggish tonight. Definitely. It's hard when, you're on your heels instantly and then all that stuff happens to you. Alex, I remember the 2016 Eastern Conference Final against the Pens. Not quite the same team these days, but have never seen a team just prevent clean zone exits and movement up the ice quite like the Pens at their best. Those Penguins teams were just so good.
They were incredible. And, some of that puck pressure tonight reminded me of that a little bit. Not quite the same, but, gave me some memories of that. And, it's just so hard to play against.
Yeah, not quite, the same team personnel-wise.
No.
But yes, that spirit lives on in Sullivan's, team and coaching style
Yep.
and preferences. That is for sure. Superfly, Grubauer is also playing too much. That's 20 starts out of 25 games. A lot of that's just been because of Drieger's health is the problem.
Yeah, for sure. Although, again, I don't know why they don't, give Decord at least a little bit more of a run, at least until he plays poorly.
Right. And yeah, I agree with that. Sergeant Pickles said the same thing. Superfly, though, not really. Drieger was healthy for over a week and only got 1 out of 5 games before the last road trip. I hope Hackstall plays Decord or Drieger more from here on out. I mean,
Although anything after that original injury to Drieger, he still wasn't 100%, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. So really, he only had the healthy time before the first one.
Yeah. And, I think we do both agree that, yes, they should both be starting more over Grubauer at times. I just think it would be important to get Grubauer back out there for the next one after tonight.
Yeah.
Jason, why the change in lineups tonight? They were finally getting some chemistry. I mean, part of it was just...
Schwartz and Eberle coming back in, and you're not going to keep those guys out just for its own sake. I mean, you want to have those two guys available if you can.
Exactly. Alex, okay, signed up for the Patreon. I'll listen to the pod tonight. Gotta love those late nights working. Thank you so much, Alex. That's awesome.
Thank you, Alex. Yep.
That is awesome. I hope you enjoy it. Rexology, Geeky Squad shirt finally let me down. Time to break out the Donskoy jersey and will him a goal. That is right. Listen to the Penguins broadcast. That didn't work. I already said earlier, RJ, I'm going to be back on the route next time.
All right. Yep.
It's one of those things. Aaron, hey fellas, was at the game tonight. Definitely an ugly one, just not ready for the start of the game. It was unfortunate, Aaron. Hopefully you still had an okay time.
Yep. And one thing, for those fans maybe interested in this, there was a bit of a red glare during the anthem.
Oh, really?
For the first time I really remember, yeah. The anthem singer, she kind of took it a lot slower than some of the others had, so there's really time to kind of get into it, but there was a red glare.
All right.
It seemed like it was coming from one section, so I don't know what the story with that was, but...
Interesting. We'll definitely keep your eye out for that one. Nathan, hopefully the Jets are as bad as the football Jets. We can certainly hope, but it's hard to be that bad.
Yeah.
RJ, does Geeky sit next to Donskoy in the locker room? Geeky can't buy one as of late. Has the curse spread?
You know what? That's an interesting theory. It's something to look into. Yeah, I don't usually see him around Donskoy too much. I mean, they've been on separate lines for a while, so I don't know about if it physically spreads or whatnot. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, Geeky has been a little snake bitten. I mean, gosh, he should have had an assist tonight, except for that incredible read by Casey DeSmith to get his stick out there to prevent the tap in. Like, who does that? Like, what goalie does that? I mean, it gives away the 5-hole one, but you need to read it in just a split second. It was amazing. I had to tweet about it. But yes, Geeky's been a little bit snake bitten. But a big part of that also was just the amount of defensive responsibility he's had to take on. I mean, he is centering this line, and they're getting a lot of minutes. Hackstall kind of talked about it this morning and just said, something that a lot of people don't realize is just how much defensive responsibility he's taking on. And for a young player, it's kind of hard to do that and then also focus on the offensive side. Mm-hmm. So it's just a lot that he's being asked to do.
Yeah, it's that Madagascar Penguins energy. That's what leads to stuff like that. Do you think the missing official caused less penalties being called, or was this game that cleanly played? That's from the Sandpipes. Personally, I think it's because of the just the score that things, because there were times that maybe the Kraken could have been called on stuff and the refs weren't going to do that. Or the ref.
Agreed. Certainly in the last few minutes, yeah. I'm just like, that probably gets called. Normally, Kraken would go to a penalty kill, but you just don't want to do that in this kind of game. And with one official, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe
hopefully Eric Furlat's fine. I haven't seen any update on him, but hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, hopefully. Certainly also the Evan Rodriguez breakaway, kind of a hook on his hands there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see, Stratic. I want to win with Grubauer not pulled because I want someone to smooch Grubauer on the forehead again. It would be sweet.
That was a great photo with Cole Lind in there. Mm-hmm. Got to get Lind back in the lineup just for that.
Exactly. Alex, Calgary shutouts are kind of fluky. Agreed. Superfly, the Canucks just got a shutout against LA. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting with the Canucks from here on out.
Yep.
That being said, LA not getting points kind of helps out the Kraken, so more
It
so.
does. Was Boudreaux coaching that game? He must have been.
I would assume so, yeah.
Off to a hot start.
I mean, he kind of does that. It's all the hot sauce he leaves on his face during interviews. Oh my gosh, we're going to have so much fun, everybody. We're going to have so much fun.
Yeah. Tune in for the Patreon podcast. It's going to be a good time.
Yes, the Sandpipes. Does anybody know why Decord's nickname is the Mayor? The Seattle Kraken Twitter tweeted it, but I'm not sure where that comes from. I'm not sure where that comes from either.
I will look into that. I don't know. We'll try and get you an answer on that one, but I don't know offhand.
All right.
Got to date back to ASU or something.
Yeah, probably. Not including top 6 scoring, are there any holes in the roster worth trading to fill? That's from Sergeant Pickles. Again, I'm not sure there is.
No, I don't think so. Just that top 6 scoring.
Yeah, it's more so just on consistency at this point.
Right.
Superfly, my 3 stars are the left goalpost, the right goalpost, and the square one up top. Like that one.
Good choices, yep.
Ethan's Tech World, good grief. That was the worst game since the Arizona game. Grubauer didn't have it, but more importantly, just sloppy everywhere you look, especially on offense to defensive transitions. There was some bad luck mixed in there, but just sloppy and very poor execution. I think you're forgetting about that Colorado game in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, that one might have been worse.
Just a little.
But aside from that, it's, pretty fair assessment. And, the players, Eberle especially, was just, there was a lot of sloppiness, and that's kind of what he chalked it up to.
Exactly. Valentina, saw the podcast this morning. My office mates have decided the mascot is a pirate with a wooden leg. His name is Peggy.
Okay.
Totally in play. Gonna have a lot of fun. And hope everybody enjoyed the podcast. I was at the Arizona game. That was brutal, especially surrounded by Coyotes fans. That's from Hunter. Yeah, but how many Coyotes fans could that have been, really?
Exactly. Yeah, what? 100, 200?
Yeah.
You're fine.
But yes, that would be a rough one, Hunter. Let's see. Sergeant Pickles, this is from Superfly referencing Sergeant Pickles. I would argue a top pairing defenseman would be good and a real number 1 center, but those don't just come around.
Exactly. You've got to draft those or, sign some huge free agent deal. It's very rare to get those guys.
Yes, this is from Autumn. Thoughts on the Athletic ranking Larson as the Kraken's worst everyday player?
Oh, yeah. What? Did you see that, Dylan? I was going to tag you in that. Okay.
What?
Yeah, Autumn tagged us. I was going to tell you about it. I'm sorry, Autumn. I forgot. But yeah, it was their point shares. They were looking at point shares. And, it showed the whole Kraken lineup. Mm-hmm. And Larson had the worst. I think it was minus 0.3 point shares it was.
Yep.
But that's worst on the team. So, Dylan, this is blasphemous, right? I mean, go on the Stephen A. rant.
It is ridiculous. I will say, I think Autumn has the clue at the end there with the Lauzon wasn't rated because so much of the season Larson has been paired with Lauzon. We can point to so many goals that were on Lauzon. Larson was totally doing his job. So I think that's, And
the stats are going to show it as pretty much the same for both of them.
Exactly. So I think the fact that Lauzon wasn't rated, why wouldn't Lauzon be rated?
He's played enough.
Exactly. He's only not played in 3 or 4 games. So
yeah,
I think that's some questionable reporting on the Athletics' part. RJ, you tell him for me.
Will do. I think I see an Athletic reporter or two around here. I'll let him know what Dylan says.
Yeah. Valentina, second choice mascot Liam Neeson. Maybe as Zeus in Clash of the Titans, maybe not. I do like that one.
Yep.
That was funny. Ethan's
Is Liam Neeson doing anything? Is he available?
I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Ethan's Tech World's Decord was better, but I blame most of it on just awful mistakes from the defense. Really nice goal and sticking with it on that tripping play. Really nice goal and sticking with it on that that tripping play. What play?
Sorry, it's Decord sticking with it, you say?
I guess so.
Wait, who? Okay.
Oh, no. I guess on the Eberle one because there was the delayed penalty for the Eberle
goal.
goal.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, because Schwartz was tripped. He was totally tripped there.
Yeah.
made the pass to set it up.
Yes. Uh, let's see. From Braun. Hey boys, didn't catch the game today. Ironically, the Gruneck came today. Lol, kind of a bummer timing,
Hey,
but looks solid. Glad it came out well, Braun. Really hope you enjoy it. Cody reminding everybody to hit the like button. Thank you, Cody. Seahawks beat the Niners, and the following day the Kraken get shelled. Coincidence? I think not. That is true. Kraken were doing very well when the Seahawks were losing. Since the Kraken have, more of a legitimate chance, I think, of really making the playoffs and maybe going on a run, I think we can go back to that.
yeah, I think they've got to take priority for sure. It's sorry Seahawks, but it has to be done.
Yes. We'll try to rush through here because we're over that hour mark. Braun, I'm sure you guys have done this already, but do you think you could give Braun a quick recap takeaway? Just one or two things would be nice. Yeah, bad bounces, to start the game. Kraken then, kind of went back to their kind of panicky, trying to force things a little bit too much. That was kind of my takeaway from this game.
Yeah, agreed. It just went bad early, bad bounces, tried to chase the game, and it just went worse.
Yeah, and couldn't quite deal with the Penguins' kind of aggressive nature,
Yep.
either on defense or driving the net. Sandpipes, RJ, were the indigenous people's sweaters nice in person? They were nice in the photos. Yeah, I thought the
Yes, they
mock-ups
were.
looked really good.
They really were. Yeah, no, I mean those look fantastic. I mean, I was, I don't ever have time to get around to the shop or anything, but I would have probably tried to get a shirt if I could. Like, yeah, no, that was a great design.
Yeah, I would enjoy if they did some stuff with that, like shirts and stuff. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd definitely.
And there was a nice performance there at the first intermission too, where they kind of came out on the ice. That was cool.
Yeah. Sean, Dylan, assuming Matty Beniers is healthy after his NCAA season is over, do you think he'll join the Kraken? Will it depend on whether the Kraken are in the playoff hunt? It might depend on if they're in the playoff hunt. They might not want to use the roster spot on him if they're really, in the thick of things. That being said, yours and I's kind of opinion all year has been that they'll probably want to bring him in and get him a little bit of experience before next year, because I think he's proven this year that he is ready for that.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe I forgot about the Colorado game. Lol, that's from Ethan. Yeah. Stratic. So, someone else can smooch Grubauer. It doesn't have to be Lind. Can the Peggy Pirate be a lady mascot? I want a lady mascot. There aren't enough. That is true. I can't really think of any in the NHL.
No, I can't either. I'd like that.
And then from Autumn, prediction: Kraken mascot will be non-binary with they them pronouns. I could definitely see that one happening too.
Probably.
Come to think of it, I think I refer to most mascots like that anyway, because usually they're animals and they're just kind of
Yeah, I mean it's like, yeah,
they're not quite gender coded usually. Let's see, Sergeant Pickles. I'm sure we all need some shut eye. Cheers, everyone. We go again Thursday. That is true, Sergeant Pickles. We are down here at the end of everything, so I think that is gonna do it for us. Let's see. Thanks for the coverage. Appreciate you. That's from Cody. Everybody, you're welcome. Unfortunate game tonight, but they still happen, unfortunately. But hopefully it doesn't become a trend again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to bounce back pretty quickly.
For sure. So thanks everybody for joining us. I know it was a little bit of a bummer night. We'll see you all again Thursday, and it should be a pretty good game against the Jets. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yep.
All right, awesome. Thanks everybody. We will see you on Thursday.